Welcome back to Ride JBI. This is JB. Today we finished a suspension custom build and revalve on this KTM 250 SX WP suspension. The WP XACT 48 air forks were revalved to our JBI suspension SoCal Hills Freeride setting. The setting is a lot stiffer than a motocross setting, but not quite as stiff as a supercross or FMX setting. It is a little more comfortable on the small and chattery bumps. This is helpful for riders out in the hills because oftentimes the natural jumps that they are jumping don't always have the smoothest run up or landing. So it's nice to have suspension to have a little more compliance compared to the very stiff FMX settings that we sell for those scenarios. Again, it is much stiffer than our motocross setting, so it still works really well for jumping ramps and all that. It's just not as stiff as our pure FMX / supercross setting. What's cool about this setting is you can also back out the compression clickers and make them quite a bit softer, and you can get the bike to handle pretty well around the motocross track. So this is a good setting for somebody that's an all-around rider, likes to do a lot of motocross and a lot of free riding. This setting will really meet their needs for something like that. As you can see, we did some custom coatings as well. Starting off at the bottom, we got our JBI Rainbow titanium bolts. The fork lugs have the JBI Cerakote. This is a very popular gray color that we have. The lower fork tubes, as you can see, have the JBI Chameleon coat. I think these match really well with our titanium bolts we have here at the end. The upper fork tubes have a JBI anodized color black. And again, the internals, specifically this damping side right here, that has all of the hydraulics, that was revalved to our JBI suspension SoCal Hills Freeride spec. It also utilizes our JBI Pro Fork revalve kit. So we also change out some additional hardware during this revalve in order to get the most performance out of these WP XACT 48 air forks. This is the matching shock setup. It is the WP Generation 2 linkage shock. It has a matching JBI suspension SoCal Hills Freeride setting, along with some custom coatings as well. The shock rebound clevis has a similar or the same gray Cerakote color, and along with the bump stop too. The shock spring retaining ring has been anodized black to match our black preload adjuster, that is billet. The shock body has been Cerakoted the burnt bronze, and we also did the burnt bronze on this factory connection bladder kit. This shock already had this bladder kit. The factory connection one works well, so there's no need to put in our own brand one, and we just rebuilt this one here with a new bladder, and then of course Cerakoted it. The compression adjuster up here has been anodized black as well. And we also did the JBI DLC coat on the shock shaft. And for this, I utilized our JBI black bumper. This is actually our Showa bumper. It's a little taller than the stock bumper here, but I like to utilize these bumpers for our freeride settings and our FMX settings. So that way the rear wheel doesn't go smashing into the freaking fender as often or as hard as the KTMs often like to do. So by this bump stop being a little bit taller, it's going to engage this a little bit sooner and give them a little bit cushier of a landing when they land. At Ride JBI, our website has all of the suspension services that I've talked about, along with our coatings and titanium bolts. We have our own JBI suspension coatings category on our website that details all the coatings that we offer, how much they cost, and what the typical lead time is. We also have a titanium section that has all of our titanium bolts for sale, including these rainbow ones. We also offer titanium subframe bolts for the KTMs, They're better fitting than the stock ones in terms of how they fit against the plastic and hold it in place. We have those in rainbow and gold. And then we have a bunch of other titanium goodies on there as well. Ride JBI has also tested, tuned, and developed many other suspension settings for all the different types of off-road riding, motocross, supercross, arena cross, and freestyle motocross. If you'd like Ride JBI to do your suspension, please give us a call or send us an email. We can discuss the year, make, and model bike that you have, which options are available, and which setup would be most advantageous for you. All JBI suspension services and parts can be found at ridejbi.com.